Hi everybody, my name is Angelique Vasquez, and in this video I want to talk about the question, what does it mean to be Chicano? This is a powerful question because it's not just about a word. It's about the identity, culture, history, and even politics. Throughout the class, we've explored reading like Manuel Gonzalez's Chicanoism, videos such as What is a Chicano, and debate about terms like Latino, Hispanic, and Latinx. For me, critical analysis means looking at all of these perspectives, breaking them down, and then forming my own conclusion based off the evidence and my personal experiences. The word Chicano has deep historical roots. According to Manuel Gonzalez, the term became especially powerful during the 1960s in civil rights movement. It wasn't just a label. It was a movement that expressed pride in being Mexican American and resisting assimilation into mainstream American culture. Other sources like Chicanos versus traditionalists show how there was a clash within the community. Traditionalists wanted to blend it to be accepted as Americans, while Chicanos argued that for culture and cultural pride and self-determination. To them, saying I'm Chicano was about reclaiming heritage and refusing to erase the Mexican roots. Even today, there's no single definition. Videos like What is a Chicano highlight how some people see it as purely cultural, while others see it as political or even generational. That's part of what makes those identities both fascinating and complex. When I analyze this debate critically, I see three big themes. First, identity versus assimilation. Being Chicano meant saying we don't need to change who we are to belong here. For example, some people preferred the government created labels like Hispanic, while others rejected it because it erased their Mexican and indigenous roots. I think this clash reveals how identity is never neutral. It's always tied to power. Second, the power of language. Language shapes identity. Today, terms like Latino, Hispanic, Chicano, and Latinx all carry cultural and political weights. Some articles like Can we please stop using Latinx? And progressives, Hispanics are not Latinx, argue that Latinx feels elitist, or like it's forcing English rule into Spanish. On the other hand, authors like Ed Morales argue that Latinx represents progress and inclusivity. Personally, I see both sides. To me, Latinx may feel disconnected from older generations, but for younger people, it is about inclusion, especially for non-binary and genderqueer identities. Third, identity is real life. When I watch videos like Growing Up Latina in the US or Defining Latino young people talk identity, I noticed how much pressure people still feel to choose the right label. Some embrace identity or Chicano proudly, others prefer Latino or Hispanic, and still others reject labels altogether. This shows that identity is lived differently by each person. It's not just theoretical, it shapes how people express pride, belonging, and even discrimination. For me, I think that being Chicano is more than a label. It's about pride in Mexican heritage, also living in the US. It's about refusing to erase culture and instead celebrating it. I personally connect with the idea of Chicano is both cultural and political. It represents a community that stood for itself and demanded to be seen. At the same time, I understand why people prefer Latino, or Hispanic. It can feel easier, more widely understood, and less political. But I believe that the struggle around labels shows how identity is alive and changing. So my conclusion is that being Chicano means honoring your roots, reassure, and defining it yourself on your own terms. It doesn't matter if the word is Chicano, Chicana, Chicanx, Latinx. What matters is the person chooses it for themselves, not because it was imposed. To wrap up, my critical analysis of Chicano identity shows that it's not just one thing. It's history, culture, politics, and personal choice all rolled into one. From Chicanismo by Miguel Gonzalez to the modern debate around Latinx, we see that the conversation is ongoing. To me, being Chicano means pride, resistance, and self-definition. Thank you for listening to my thoughts, and I look forward to hearing how each of you interprets this question as well.